night. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet. Not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing.
And hello again, everyone, and welcome back here live on PT Racing TV. We are here for the showcase of the Pitstall Racing Series, ARCA Series to be exact, here on the Chicagoland surface here in Joliet, Illinois. It's about to get wild here on PT Racing TV. Hello again, everyone. I am the Crusader, Christian Shriver, joining you guys here back live on the call. It is a beautiful night here in Joliet, Illinois, and right now this field of drivers currently preparing for battle ahead and battle up ahead. This will be an all-out fight under the night lights here today, and we're about to find out just who will be able to strike while the iron's hot and get going quickly before it is too little too late in this season. Without further ado, with only minutes left on practice here, it's time to listen to our drivers, and our field of drivers now begins up with the likes of the number 24 and Tim Lee here. Tim, welcome back to the show here, sir. Great to have you back out tonight, sir.
Hey, Chris. I'm here, but I won't be here because I'm still having some PC issues. My new PC doesn't get here until Monday, and it locked up 3 times. So I'll let these guys qualify, and then I'll do the announcements, and then set them on your way.
Well, it makes you feel better. At least I actually had some issues of my own here right before I was getting on. That's why we're a little bit late to the broadcast. But hey, man, at least you'll be able to watch these guys go at it. Really wanting out their thoughts here for these drivers. Or really any word of advice for them tonight?
I don't know. It's going to be interesting. So this, to me, the setup, I don't know why it feels a little bit loose and kind of sloppy. And even after 4 or 5 laps, it still kind of seemed the same. So it's going to be curious. I thought it was just me, but apparently there's some other people that are having the same thoughts. So I don't know. I think it's going to be a strategy call. Try to save tires unless you're just that fast. So we'll see. It's always competitive in this league, you know that. So it's going to be exciting to watch.
For sure there. Well, I'm pretty sure everything was set right on there on our end, at least for the way this was going to go down. So hopefully it works out in their favor tonight.
Oh yeah, looking forward to it. This is one of my. I've always loved Chicagoland. I've always liked racing here, so it's a bummer that my new PC's not here yet. But it'll be here Monday, so I'll be back Thursday for sure.
Well, we'll surely miss you, but we'll be glad to have you back next Thursday. Bud, thanks for your time out there.
Thanks, Chris.
Tim Lee, ladies and gentlemen, on the line there, getting ready to hit him up down and file him off to the track here, as he unfortunately will not be able to make the call here today. We do have one driver that will be able to make the call. He pilots the big number 84 here, Len McNeese, now on the line here. And Len, right now, currently getting ready for your action. Again, your race out here on the bunch. How are you feeling with this 1.5 miles today?
Oh, feeling pretty good with it. It's setup and everything seems pretty nice. So I think it's just going to be saving some tires again tonight and seeing how we can play that out.
Play that out indeed. Now, Joliet, obviously, it's going to be a very tough little surface here. Again, this is a little worn tour, and it sounds like the ARC cars aren't exactly agreeing with this kind of playing field. What's going on down there for you and this team?
Yeah, it seems to be a little loose out there tonight. It's like somebody spilled a little oil on the track or something. But I don't know. I think it'd be pretty good if everybody can keep everything going good and get some good clean racing going the first part there. It should end up being a tire strategy race, we hope.
I certainly hope indeed. Well, no more Mario Kart oil spills are thrown out there. I think we're ready to go for it too, Len. So best of luck out there, sir.
Hey, we thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, Len McNeese and the number 84 on the line there. So right now, currently your field of drivers here just kind of throwing some laps down around the track, currently getting squared up on this racing surface today. Time to listen to another guy that knows a thing or two about running the big 1.5 miles. Ladies and gentlemen, the Hammerman, Hunter and Hammer and Hansen here on the line here. And Hansen right here, sir. Right back in a 1.5 mile stage, but this isn't the truck, this isn't a cup, it's the big old ARCA Series. How are you feeling with that there, sir?
You know, not gonna lie, this is my first season in the ARCA cars, but you know, we're trying new things out. We're getting more involved and getting more practice. So you know, I'm feeling more confident every race.
Speaking of getting confident every other race, man, you talked about me about literally what was kind of shooting through your mind, shooting through your thoughts about these new sets of pedals. How have they reverted to you and been able to help you in terms of getting braking and fuel pressure down with the throttle?
Definitely not gonna lie, these load cell pedals are 10,000 times better than the stock pedals I was using. I was running, you know, lucky to be in the top 14 before I got them, and now, you know, I'm competing for wins. You know, I was racing against Khan last night. So, you know, I'm running consistent top fives. Now I just got to put together the whole entire run. The last, I think, 3 races I've gotten taken out in the last 5 laps, or I've made a mistake in the last 5 laps. So I got to figure that part out now.
Sure there. Well, Hunter, we do appreciate you coming on board. Best of luck down there with that Rockside tire, number 22.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Hunter Hammer Hansen, ladies and gentlemen, on the line here. Down to listening down to a few more guys. Here's a driver here that knows a thing or two about how to put some pedal into that metal and a foot to the floorboards. The Kodak Max Film. It is the number 4 DJ Mitzel, ladies and gentlemen. DJ, how are you tonight, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, we're hanging in there pretty good out there today, sir. And right now, currently, preparing up for this warfare here on the Joliet, Illinois stage. How are you feeling with this to go out on the track with this ARCA car?
I'm not going to be too good tonight, to be honest with you. I'll be probably middle of the pack type person, but trying to work on potentially just saving tires for long runs, and maybe I might be able to make up some time on that.
So why is it, unfortunately, you may not be feeling as confident as you may have been on other tracks for you in this car at this track today?
I'm not sure. I'm just not too fast, to be honest with you. Just, I don't know. It's a little different than we've been running. I haven't ran ARCA for a while. Got used to those super late models. Started getting better with those, and I guess maybe that's the deal. I just need to work on the car a little bit more.
All right, well, DJ, still plenty of time to get it figured out before qualifying goes into effect and into the race itself. So best of luck down there to you and the team.
Yeah, thanks.
DJ Mitzel, ladies and gentlemen, trying to prepare up for battle, as is this man. You know the Candy Man's in town. Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Holloway is on the line here. And Daniel, sir, you have been a winningest driver for quite some time, but now you got to take on a challenge that really favors and really the best of drivers here. What does that mean for you and this team today?
Well, tonight in this Hershey Kisses car, we're going to be battling the track. You know, the tires here, it's 100 laps tonight. You only get 2 sets of tires after the one you have, so it's going to be nutrition, race the track, and keep it clean, and hopefully be there at the end.
This being the Hershey Chocolate scheme up on this 26, and you're having to work your way from Wisconsin down to Illinois, I mean, does that kind of have a little bit of an advantage knowing you're kind of more in like the Midwest side of things to help kind of rock this car around?
Well, I mean, technically I'm only a few hours from Chicago, so I don't know if you want to say home track or not. So, but you know, Chicago's been a good track for me. So it's a driver track, tire wear. So you just got to manage it.
Manage it indeed. Well, nevertheless, best luck down there to you and the team.
Thank you, thank you.
Daniel Holloway, ladies and gentlemen, on the line there as we get ready to head on down to qualifying. 10 minutes on the clock here for these drivers here. Let's bring them out. Our first lineup of field of drivers will be Derek Paulson, Daniel Holloway, Corey Coe, J.R. Johnson, Craig Lerman. They will be the first on the center stage. Now, this is something I'm really excited to see here, guys. It's just really, where is the speed lay? Where is the power run? You heard drivers say the car feels a little bit looser than usual. Interesting dilemma, because usually when we talk about Chicagoland, we've always heard it's a little bit tighter at first on the starts and then kind of loosens itself up over time. I'm curious to know why is that, and like where is that going to play out at, because it seems like the surface may be breaking down, the track may be starting to wear and tear a bit more. Also, we got to put into consideration, this isn't the same ARCA car that we once had. This is a little bit of a modified car. It's not the Gen 4 before anybody starts asking me in the broadcast section. It is not a Gen 4. It's not the 800 horsepower, 900 horsepower, whatever Ice Racing did with it. Trust me, I wish it was sometimes, but it's actually pretty cool to see the ARCA car still getting some actual love, so. Although if you ask me, I still wish they would actually modify it to where it looked like the actual ARCA car it's supposed to be today, but then again, that is just me, so maybe I'm just a bit of a biased little run there. Daniel Holloway sets our first time of the day here. He lays down a 30.58 starting this line out. 30.71 for Derek Paulson on his first lap. Now off to the bottom, and many drivers trying to shoot down there as well. Corey Coe, certainly one of them, in the number 9 Golf Machine. Johnson throws his time in the hat there, 30.86. Bumps on DJ Mitchell real quick in the Kodak Max Film, number 4. First lap time coming up on the center stage. He now begins his qualifying lap. Tim Williams going to reel it off at turn number 4 in the 45 iRacing.com machine as well. Going to set his lap. And his first lap is going to be set right in the middle there, about 30.74 for the start. Gordon Larson Jr. 30.79 for his start. Seems like drivers have a little bit of a time trying to keep it on the bottom lane, trying to keep the speed up. Derek Paulson, though, sets the fastest time now with a 30.28, almost 1/10 faster than Douglas R. Johnson. The hammering man himself, Hunter Hammer and Hansen, trying to bring down one line to the sight, one line to the drive. A good time, but a low time. 30.60 is his time. Tim Williams, 30.34, still not enough to knock down Derek Paulson. Dean Viney and Blake Trawick putting up some laps. Blake Trawick a little slow out of the gate with 30.71. Not very unusual for a driver of his caliber. Metzel's time, final time to be exact, from 30.81 is final will be a 30.61. So honestly, lower times than I was expecting, and I spoke way too soon. Trawick 30.29. He is now your second fastest on the bunch. Well, I guess he heard me talking a little too much down there, and he was like, okay, Crusader, I've had enough of this. I'm putting a time up for you. Here you go, buddy. 30.29 for the 056. Trawick moves into second, but not enough to take down the number 6 of Derek Paulson. Ledman final time, 31.03. The Western Auto Group, definitely a little slower of the bunch. Not too sure if he's going to be able to bring it back in the later half. That will be decided on his end here later. Well, it's time now, ladies and gentlemen, to listen into our drivers again once more. And 8th fastest so far out of the bunch, the 00, Gordon Larson Jr. now on the call here. And Gordon, good start out of the gate here, sir. Setting a pretty good time in the top 10. But with this being a bit of a long run, 100-lap race, I mean, how does that kind of fare for you, knowing the tires can easily give out a little bit more than usual? Hold on, folks. I don't think he might be on the line there. Got to remember, sometimes these guys don't exactly want to talk with us at that moment in that time. So we'll just see if we can get another one here on the lineup here. A top 5 driver in Corey Coe. Corey, you got a copy down there?
Yeah, man. What's going on? Long time no.
I was about to say, long time no see indeed. I was like, about to say, we're missing you around here. Well, nevertheless, great to have you back on board and talk about setting a time here. Top 5 and about 5 minutes left before we end this one out. Does this 9 pretty much kind of have a little set schedule, a set way to run this place?
Yeah, just I guess it's just tire management, because Chicago could have a tendency to get some really long runs. The restarts and the start is going to be extremely aggressive, but it's really greasy. So I mean, if everybody can hang on to it, if we get stretched out just a little bit, it's all about saving the tires and getting on run on the guy in front of you if he's trying to burn them up a little more than you. So let's see how that pans out. If we get some green flag pit stops, that'll really separate the field, and this thing will be over in no time.
I want to ask about that too. You just said a pretty good word there, that you get a run on these drivers. That kind of brings me to the next conclusion, which is the drafting and the pack speed. Again, these aren't the Gen 4s, of course. These are ARCA series. So without that extra horsepower, I mean, how important is it to make sure you get lined up and make sure you can pull the slingshots on those stretches and really make for the corners?
It all depends on the momentum that you can carry off the corner to get to the bumper. If you don't carry any of it and you're scrubbing just a little bit, you're not going to get close enough to pull any bit of that air, and that's what you'll see in the medium runs. But in the longer runs, the tires are going to be giving up so much, there's not really going to be any draft involved at all.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, though, we do really appreciate you coming on board here with us and having a chat there, Corey. Thanks for your time down there.
Yeah, man, enjoy.
Corey Coe, ladies and gentlemen, the number 9, ready to settle on down to the track today. Well, right now, anyway, we've got Todd Poston trying to get his number set on the clock here, the 31. His first time wasn't quite what he was looking for, 31.7. This time is a 30.97, so Poston well off the target line, off the speed. Ty Marasco a little bit closer in time, though. The number 1 MF Racing Designs will set a solid time, is going 6th fastest, 30.38, but 1,000% shorter than Corey Coe. Very, very interesting times to say the least today here between these guys and between these drivers. Time to listen now to some other guys that have been running it hard all as of late on the show. As of late here, Dean Viney back with us in number 78. Dean, great to have you back on board here on Pizza Race TV, sir.
Hey, good to be back here and running again.
Indeed, indeed, sir. Now, obviously, we saw what went down last week and the chaos ensuing there, but now having a little bit more of a intermediate and a little bit more of a spread out kind of track. I mean, how big does that kind of set for you in the tone for these guys today?
Well, I think when we go back to last week, we could have been in pretty good shape. I don't think we're going to make that same fuel mistake this week.
Now, you want for the viewers at home that don't know what we're talking about here, could you maybe elaborate on the fuel issue that happened last week on the track?
Yeah, last week there, you get going around, and of course, Daytona, super speedway, and you got to have somebody to work with you, obviously, and you kind of play that game as well. Do I stop now or not, or do I try to gain some positions, which worked out good for us. We ended up putting 78 Butterfinger up front and ran there, but then we had to take a pit to get some fuel because we just didn't have enough fuel. We, just misjudged the fuel and the mileage there toward the end, and that kind of hurt us and set us back a lap. We ended up getting our lap back, but, it was a mistake we're not going to make this week.
For sure there, Dean. Thank you so much for your time down there, sir.
Hey, appreciate your work.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, Dean Viney, ladies and gentlemen, on the call and on the line, and it's about that time indeed. We get settled up for our action here on the track. Before we do, let's go ahead and take a look at our track tech talk presented by Lightning Wrapz. Of course, this is Joliet, Illinois, Chicagoland Speedway. As we are getting ready to go here, you can see this is a bean-shaped kind of track. It's almost as complete to a circle as you can get compared to the likes of the old Langhorne Speedways and the Oxford Plain Speedways. But this one, honestly, being a mile and a half in the width and as well as drive, again, that bean-shaped kind of style, forces drivers to have to keep turning left, and they're not going to catch a break on those straights. So continuously turning left and continuously hitting in the throttle, power extremely necessary just to hang on and to keep momentum up throughout this one. Well, race fans, it is that time again at last, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get it down to the stands. Let's get it down on the track. It's time for a little intro in the Pit Stall Racing Series. Time for the Pit Stall Racing Series. When you need the best designs in your fleet of vehicles, there's only one brand name that many trust in. One that makes every car pop out from the rest of the field, and that is Lightning Wrapz. Be sure to check us out on Facebook at Lightning Wrapz. Get yourself a vehicle unlike the rest. Lightning Wrapz, the most affordable designs made at your leisure. Indeed, indeed, race fans. It's time at last. We have now risen to the occasion. We've now risen to the stage. Joliet, we are ready for you if you're ready for us. Presented in part by our friends at Fort Worth Screen Printing and Lightning Wrapz. We present to you the race lineup. 25 of the best in the Pit Stall Race Series about to go at it. Here on the pole, the number 17, Derek Paulson will lead him out with the outside, and the 056, Blake Treywick. Row number 2 is Tim Williams in the 45 with the outside, and the number 13, that's Douglas R. Johnson. Row number 3 is Corey Coe in the 9, the outside, and the number 1, it is Ty Motorasco. Row number 4 is Daniel Holloway in the 26 with the outside, in the big 5, the Throttle Chantel Bottle. Row number 5 in the big 00, Gordon Larson Jr. on the outside, in the 2-1, it's the Rattlesnake himself, Robert Kahn. Row number 6, the outside is the number 6 of Eric Blount. The outside in the 98 is Mike Taylor. In row number 7, we will see that piloted down by J.R. Johnson, the 37, the outside in the big 22, Hunter Hammer and Hansen. Row number 8 in the 4, DJ Mitchell, the outside in the 78. That will be Dean Viney. Row number 9 will be Todd Poston, the 31, with the outside in the 25. It is Hilton Young. Row number 10 will be Len McNeese, the 84, the outside in the 24, Tim Lee. Row number 11 is Michael Pratt, the 3 with the outside in the 47, Ray Radford. Row 12 is Michael Lee Campbell, the 92 with the outside in the number 43, Greg Lerman. Final starters, Jason Wall and the 93. Race fans, that's time at last. We have finally brought to you our drivers. We bring you the speeds. We bring you to please. It is time at last to settle them on down, settle the scores, and let them rip it around this part of town. Drivers eagerly anticipating this day. They've been eagerly anticipating this entire season. Now, opportunity set in motion. Field set to go. We'll work them on down and on around here and see what happens from here. This could get interesting. Paulson in the 6, Treywick in the 056, ready to deal with each other at their best and at their toughest. Off the corners of turn 4 to the front stretch. It's time to bring him to the Fort Worth screen printing starting zone. Let's race it down in Joliet. Not the best start there for the 13 of Douglas R. Johnson as Marasco tries to work his way around off the corner edges of turn 2. Throttle Chantel Bottle kind of clipped in between there as the big 88 of Tyler Robert Kahn right now, not the 21. Kahn, man, you got to get these numbers figured out, dude. I can't keep flipping in between you guys and call you 21, 48, 88 or whatever. You got to go with one number. And if you're wondering what the heck am I talking about, he's got so many numbers he runs, plus he's running the wrong number as well. You can see he's sim stamped the 21 on his end, but he's running the 88. So that's what I'm getting on about. If you guys are wondering already, what am I already getting out of control about? Derek Paul's taking the early lead. Tim Williams right now staying right behind him with Blake Treywick also in that hunch. Every driver right now just trying to keep those tires and positioning it key and speed. Precision. Extremely high right now and extremely important to stay in control of and inconclusive with. We've seen the ARCA series run here before at Chicagoland Speedway, but it's been a very long time since I can remember. The last time I remember, it was about 2 years ago. Yes, it's been that long that we've been here at Chicagoland broadcasting, calling the action with an ARCA car on the track. And guess there were 2 drivers that were on that call and in that race. You may take a wild guess. The Throttle Chantel Bottle and the Rattlesnake Robert Kahn, both drivers were there to see it, were there to bring it. And it's hard to believe we have still been able to carry them with us and hang on for so long. It just really makes you got a little tear in the eye a little bit here and there. I mean, I tell you, the RPMs in these cars too. Douglas R. Johnson at 13, you can see him just ripping that RPM up and trying to get some speed going. These cars feeling the burn and feeling the turns, and that's what it's all about. Eric Blount, the Viagra, number 6 now with pressure from DJ Mitchell, the Kodak Max Film, number 4, as they lead him back off through the corners here through turn number 1 and 2. It is so far Mitchell only getting 1 ground up, Blount 2 spots down, trying to fight back the rest of the field as well. Trying to invert the strategies and trying to lay look. You got to lay up, you got to speed up, and you got to make sure you take control of what you got with your hands and your pockets. Tim Williams now. After falling about a second back there from Carlson, now has come scratching, clawing, and reverberating back to the 6. Williams getting drafted off there by the 9 of Corey Coe as well as the 5 of Chantel Model. You're on board with that number 5-6 Sigma Sim Racing machine as we see the Golf 9 of Corey Coe trying to deal with the pressure that she's trying to bring to him. Inside, Golf Oil 9 trying to get a little bit more current. Uh-oh, look out down there. That's a bump. That's a side skirt there. Tim Williams able to hold it down. Nice job there by Coe. But that slowed him down. And look at this, the 5 using her tactics she learned over 2 years ago on this track. She's driving him up and bringing it to the speeds. She's not afraid to get aggressive down there, and she certainly will make sure she's making these boys well aware of that. But again, with a 100-lap race ordeal like this, you've got to be careful on how long and how far you try to drive this thing into the ground. That's going to be my question for her later. Corey Coe, though, not letting off. Neither is Tim Williams or Daniel Holloway, the Candyman, trying to live up to the Kyle Busch days and trying to make sure that he can bring some speed to the table. As you see him ripping it right around town with a little big old smile on his face. I wonder if he ever gets angry. Maybe that race all of a sudden just kind of frowns upon him a little bit. I don't know. Maybe that's just thinking off the top of my head. Well, anyway, right now, currently looking back into the field here in the 11th and 12th position, Gordon Larson Jr. trying to hold back that 31 of Todd Poston. Poston diving in deep, trying to make a run for it and make it stick. Jags Exalta 00 right now. Only one win to his name last season in the Super Speedway Series. That was with, ironically enough, Xfinity at Daytona. Yes, the track that we were at last week, the one that many drivers did not come out clean and unscathed from, is the place where Larson Jr. finally got win number 1 off his back and all the way. Also right now, currently working with that dirty airflow around the cars and probably using a little bit of that speed that's garnered from the rest of the field. Drivers trying to stay as close as possible, trying to run this thing into the ground. Ground pounding down and fighting it out, every driver for themselves. Robert Kahn making a way through the field as well. Tim Williams may have overdone himself a little bit. Ooh, a little slide job right there from the Rattlesnake. Tim Williams wasn't expecting him to drift up. I saw that rear end kick out the slice bed, and the Ford Credit ADA hanging on pretty well. Rear end starting to kick a little bit on the 5 as well. Daniel Holloway looking to capitalize on the mistake here. And Paulson just absolutely tearing this track a new one, and I'm not talking some new surfaces, some new grounds. I'm talking something else here, race fans. No one has been able to outwit and outsmart the 6, and he's been currently holding everybody back. Craig Lerman right now with mechanical problems. The 48 will call it a day. The 43, excuse me. Looks like just can't quite keep his car up and running as much as he would like it to. Man, this is some absolutely wonderful, great racing here so far in this first part. Compare that to last week with Daytona, where these plate trackers had to figure out how to run and deal with the pressure and then have to get off strategies. Now it's almost like a complete 180, and again, that's because we have reverted back to the cars that really, in my opinion, kind of work well with this kind of surface, this kind of terrain. If we had the Gen 4s, I think probably we have something a little bit crazier and maybe a little bit nuttier out there, but for what we got, what's going on right now, I'm thoroughly impressed. This is pretty good so far. Few kick-ups and a few hiccups, but nothing else in between. Speaking of hiccups right now, Blake Treywick, that 056 move machine couldn't quite move his way to the front. Instead, he moved his way back, unfortunately. And now Michael Pratt and that Chevrolet trying to work his way around, trying to find some little ground and clearance to keep away from those boys. Blow out the Viagra, number 6, trying to not only get it up, but push it up to the front. With Treywick just kind of lingering right behind him and staying in contention to his own destinies. And again, I may be completely wrong. Treywick may be trying to play a strategy here that I'm not quite fully aware of. Maybe he could be trying to save fuel. Maybe he's trying to save tire. Either way, all I'm saying is that that could be the worst position to throw yourself in, especially when they start driving. like this, and that's what we were worried about. Blount into the wall, good save. Pratt, come on, keep it down there. They save it, great saves. Nice run. Pratt literally clipped that 6 of Blount completely up top. You saw them coming closer and closer together, but Blount managing to keep it under control, and that Viagra number 6 for Taurus able to stay afloat and stay on the line. No caution now, they'll let them keep running. A tough break though, still, when you think about how much speed they just lost. Blount and Pratt got to be absolutely frustrated with what they're feeling, what they're dealing with mentally, while at the same time just trying to pressure themselves back into this kind of racing situation, that racing habit. It's so hard to do because you just literally have all that momentum all for naught. And now you got to try to figure out how to grip it again. Tim Lee says, great race so far and a great save to keep it green. Tim, yes indeed, sir. Tim Williams, by the way, he's making a little bit of a comeback trail here. He's been maxing it out and taking some drivers to the track here. Got himself in trouble a little earlier, but hasn't had too much issues since. Michael Lee Campbell heading the first to pit road. The Imagine Digital Designs 92, first to pit stop it up. It's time to look at our lap time marker presented by Fort Worth Screen Printing. And again, you can see right here, this is what we were looking at earlier. Paulson was just whipping these guys a new one, and they were trying to catch him as soon as they could, but that 6 was not going to let up, and it certainly has not. But right now, as we look at Daniel Holloway, you can see the times gained versus time loss. He's had more gain than he did loss in the last 5 so laps. But again, will that last? That's the big question. That's the kicker. And Holloway knows it. Chantal Bottle making an absolutely amazing run there up to the 2nd spot now, just kind of lingering around at 6. I think really her strategy is now going to be back to her usual MO, fuel and tires. Douglas R. Johnson seems to be up to the same bidding here. I would love to see these drivers be able to keep this clean and keep it as green as long as it can be, but this might not be the situation there to circumstantially get it set. 3 wide off turn number 2. Trewick, Larson Jr., and Hansen. Nobody gave a hoot and nobody cared about that one. Only thing they cared was just get out of my way and let me ride this thing in the ground. Tim Lee locally sees some green flag stops and he says, could Garrett Paulson go wire to wire? For those at home that don't know what wire to wire means, it's literally when a driver, for all the laps and for all the position, does not lose the lead. It's extremely difficult, and honestly, it's one of the toughest things as a driver you can accomplish and achieve, but it is possible. However, in this case, Paulson will have to lose the lead at least for a lap or so. He's going to pit road as now your new leader, Daniel Holloway, jumps in front. One-fifth of the way there so far. Daniel Holloway making a great fight and trail, fighting runoff here, just trying to stabilize everything down, trying to see what he can lay into the track. Ty Marasco in the 1 and Blake Trewick also doing the same. You know, right now, looking at this fuel run too, currently it's 40% fuel, and there's drivers going in at lap 20, some trying to stay out till lap 25, I'm thinking, and you know why they're doing that? It's because they're trying to get the most out of their fuel, the most out of their car. That could be easier said than done, though, as Holloway now even has entered into pit road. Trewick and Roscoe right now going in as well, so I'm interested to see how this goes for pit road stops. Pit stops can be crucial here. Daniel Holloway looks like he's taking all 4 tires. No, actually just fuel for Holloway. Just fuel for the start. Driver's only taking fuel. Nobody going for the tires. Everyone wants fuel. And fuel they shall have. Only driver to go in and take tires was Dean Viney in the 78. He took all 4s. Michael E. Campbell much the same, so it looks like strategy's definitely going to be tip-topped and a little bit cornered off. Tim says if they keep going green, fuel strategy is extremely important. Yes, indeed, it is. I mean, I was saying, though, about lap 25 was the difference between pitting for 5 times versus only having to pit for 1 time. Not to mention, I also forgot to see that they have 2 tire limits on them as well, so that probably forces these drivers to be very, very selective when they take those 2 tire sets. Either way, they'll have to take them eventually, though. That's Corey Coe. You've got company, sir. And his name is from JR Motorsports and the iRacing.com 45. Tim Williams with an absolutely brilliant spot there and a brilliant move off around the distance and into the corners. Every driver right now just trying to hang on. Derek Paulson regains the lead here, and Holloway right now probably not too thrilled about that. But again, it's early, and both drivers were in pit road for a time, but it was actually Paulson that was in and out, the latest out of the bunch, 7.95 seconds versus 7.87 seconds. Derek, I think, honestly, probably looking at grabbing as much fuel as possible and probably knew where his line and his position was going to be. Take a look at our pit link stent here, and let's take a look at this very carefully here. It's lap 21 for Paulson, Holloway on 22, 21 for Con and Williams, 20 for Corey Coe actually, and 22 for Treywick and Mitchell and Poston also laying down 21. As we got a caution out on the track here, there's a problem out on the track. We've got a problem, and it looks like, oh, there is definitely a problem. The throttle Chantel bottle, unfortunately, either just got devised an evil curse or an evil undoing from my broadcast end, or she ended up having a little trouble down there. I talked good about her, and now all of a sudden this happened. Let's see what happened here on the PTM Race TV Instant Replay. Presented by Fort Worth Screen Printing. Came right off down off turn number 4 there, and it looked like Ty Morosco just didn't know where his corner was at, where his bumper was at. It happened right in front of our flagman, and a major caution thrown right out on the bunch here. Morosco, unfortunately, causing the havoc in the situation to pop up. Let's take one more look at it. Looked like he had a great run coming off turn number 4, and it looked like, yeah, just like a little bit of a clip there. Morasco just got a little too close. Sent both him and her into that wall protection, and massive damage unfortunately ensued. They do have an instant repair, but I don't think that 5 wanted to even think about using it, nor did Morasco in the 1. So that will unfortunately cut our green flag lap short for a time. At least we got about almost 1/3 of the way into this one though, so I gotta give them credits to you drivers and fans. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll be right back after a quick commercial message. This race tonight here in Chicagoland Speedway is presented in part by our friends at Fort Worth Screen Printing. When you guys need your league logos and custom designs done up on a t-shirt, there's only one brand and name to trust in, and Fort Worth Screen Printing is that brand. Be sure to visit them up at www.fortworthscreenprinting.com for more information. Also, be sure to check out John T. Garrett Twitch channel to see all his latest and greatest action going on. He's an ARCA Series driver after all. He's out there racing with the big dogs, trying to make a name for himself. Support him and his Twitch channel at John T. Garrett. Thanks so much for Forward Screen Printing and John T. Garrett Twitch channel. And by Lightning Wrapz, with the most affordable designs made at your leisure. Lightning Wrapz is looking to bring you the best designs in your library. And with that said in stone here, race fans are currently under our first caution of the day. Also probably trying to do a little meet and greet, unlike Kyle Busch at New Hampshire Motor Speedway with that pace car down there. By the way, I just mentioned about John T. Garrett here. He's actually live on the channel right now, currently on his Twitch channel, so head on down, check him out real quick. Should be interesting to see. Tim says it looked like an hit code. It could have been, but to me, the way they were getting so close, these cars, they're so flimsy and fringy as well. They can get you there, and they are not going to be an easy factor here in any of these races. So right now the field going to get squared back up into position. And ready to go at it once more. Let's see what happens here, race fans, as we line them back off to our Fort Worth screen printing restart zone. Field of drivers ready and set. Flash bulbs going off in Chicagoland. We've got 70 laps to go. 69 laps, excuse me. You know, it is fitting, too, to look at these cars and just know these are Gen 4 Cup cars. And after the news we heard from Kevin Harvick just a little while ago about him returning to the 29 with that very same scheme he wanted the Atlanta Motor Speedway with for North Wilkesboro's race and the All-Star race, it's honestly crazy to think how far the sport has gone and how old I'm getting. I still remember watching that finish when I was only like 4 or 5 years old, as I was kind of growing up and seeing it on TV after a few replays and stuff. I didn't watch the full race back then, but I still distinctly remember seeing it on TV one time and just absolutely amazed what that one day he became one of my favorite drivers of all time, even though a lot may disagree with it. It's just crazy to see now that we have gone this far and we've gone to this edge of existence. But right now, we are still in the present. We are still in the times. This is what it's all about here. And even Tim is mentioning about Gordon Larson Jr. running that high line. Yeah, he's certainly running a high side. He's running some high speeds here. The 00 Exalta machine trying to stay ahead of the field, trying to stay ahead of the packs right now as this group of individuals, seemingly with nothing left to spare and nothing left but desire and fire. The heart of a driver. It's the code of the driver to fight and scratch and claw for everything you earn, you work for. That's what we're getting right now out of these fields as the U.S. Army Cobalt number 98. Mike Taylor moving a little bit up the chains here. Gets ahead of Michael Pratt, Douglas R. Johnson, and Ed McNeese. Ed McNeese honestly kind of surprised me from his qualifying lap. He didn't quite set the time I was really expecting there, but he seemed as though he looked like he's maybe going to try to figure something out a little later on, see what he can bring to the table. I think that strategy may be working exactly the way he wants it to, and maybe he needs it to. Derek Paulson literally leading him down across the stretches and across the lines. He has not led every single lap, but he has sure led the most laps. And that's all he cares about. Gordon Larson Jr. too, yeah, I've seen what Tim Lee's saying. He's rocking that outside line like it's nothing. Honestly, I don't know why he is going so far up or so high up. Usually most drivers try to run to the bottom. I think it's a strategy end for him. But if you make one little slip up, you dare even try to think about going up there a little taller or higher. Gordon, I do not wish to be in your shoes, sir. Because let's just say there's a reason why you can't Ross Chastain these bad boys here. Or as they say in Martinsville, deliver the Hail Melon to anybody. Speaking of delivering a Hail Mary or a Hail Melon, I don't know what you want to call it. The Chevrolet number 3 of Michael Pratt trying to deliver the cross-side crossover instinctively through on the number 31 of Todd Poston, and Poston watching on. He's not only dealing with Pratt jumping up to the front, but also dealing with that old rattlesnake in front of him. how much closer and how much tougher it is getting for drivers to keep their speed up, keep their momentum alive. Eric Blount and the number 6 starting to really wheel and deal it too. Every driver to me at this point really seems to be kind of getting into their own and really starting to feel themselves out, and that's exactly what you need to do here. Caution flag back on out again here. Couldn't quite tell what was going on down there, which kind of everything happened so quickly, but unfortunately J.R. Johnson may say otherwise as the Junior Motorsports door bumper clear. Number 37 has unfortunately been rocked, socked, and taken for a bit of a jump off here off the deep end. Take a look at the replay and see what happened here to him. Came right off the corner and looked like Todd Poston. Oh yeah, that was not pretty. Front of the nose dipped down so low and that rear end kicked up so much that thing just really got taken upshot. Johnson had no idea what was going on. Looked like he threw the crossover and did not look like Todd Poston could back off from it in time. So a bit of a tough break there, unfortunately, for J.R. Johnson as he gets kind of wrapped up with Todd Poston there. All drivers right now in pit road. Major pit stops in order. Let's see who makes it out first. Looks like Derek Paulson going to try to kick it out quickly. Fuel and tires going to be extremely important here, and it looks like Trawick opting not for tires, but for fuel. Pratt, same situation. Marasco, Khan, and them all jumping it out. Derek Paulson takes all 4 sets and fuel. That'll put him somewhere in the back of the pack here. So looks like Pratt going back into pit road there. Looks like the field are going to square themselves back up. Nearly halfway done with this race so far. Pretty quick little get together here. And again, I'm not too surprised. Again, these cars can bring some speed and bring some power to the table. Of course, we have seen that plenty of times here before. But nevertheless, still plenty of options and momentum need to be carried through. So our field of drivers now, right now, settled in. It is Blake Trawick, your race leader. Ty Morosco, your second place driver. Robert Kahn, Derek Paulson, Douglas R. Johnson, Dean Viney, Mike Taylor, Gordon Larson Jr., Tim Williams, and Eric Blount. Your top 10 in this one. Ready, about to get at it here once more. The field is stretched and squared up, far from in between and far around the stage. Race fans, you know what time it is here again. It is Trawick and Morosco ready to go at it with the rest of the field following in suit. Off the distance down through corner number 4 to the restart zone. The forward screen printing restart zone sets our field back up. 45 laps now need to be set. With 56 laps left to go here, Trawick immediately burrowing up the speed, but you know 4 sets of tires is going to be already troublesome for many there. Paulson in a bit of a tight squeeze between the quality care Ford service of the 88 of Robert Kahn, as well as the pressure from his teammate Morosco. 3 wide, deep in the gap. Almost like look like stuntman looking to listen for the director. He says shoot the gap. He goes to the gap. Shoot, and through the gap he goes. Another 3 wide ensuing. Gordon Larson Jr. still on the high side. Tim Williams and Douglas R. Johnson nearly clipping him there. Looks like side skirts wise they'll hold up a lot better than punting in the back. I guess the punt in the back is the last thing they want to worry about, but scooting on the side and getting a little close doesn't seem to faze them too much. J.R. Johnson immediately doing his way to the gap. 3 wide off. Big jump to the front. Every driver wants their day, every driver wants their game, and right now, Paulson, he has got 4 sets fresh. He's not letting anything sneak by him. Trawick laid back low and thrown in between. Hold on, guys, we just had technical difficulty on our end here. Guys, hang on, we'll be right back.
finish line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride, burning rubber. the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet, not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 Everybody get ready. On your feet. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Crank it up. Crank it up. Oh, it's race day. 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 Crank it up.
Okay, so race fans, real quick, I'm just going to explain the dilemma here. We have a little bit of a storm going through our end, unfortunately, right now. It knocked the power out completely on the broadcast, so I'm going to revert back real quick. We are currently under a technical delay. I apologize, we probably lost a few laps in between there, so apologies in advance. If we need be, we will go back and broadcast those laps in later, but unfortunately, there really wasn't much we can do about that, so. But I promise you right now, currently, we are highly getting to work and getting everything set on our end here. So, hopefully, this will be up and running in just a few short seconds. I'd say give us roughly 1 more minute, if you guys could. Just 1 more minute. Could you do that? Be much appreciated. And again, I really do apologize in advance. We weren't expecting the snowstorm to knock out everything on our end here, so we're going to get this fielded back up. We got about another 5 seconds here. We should be loaded in. Here we go. We're getting ready to get in there now. You heard some cars in a sec. Alright, we're back. We're back. Yep, we're back. Well, somewhat. Now we're back for sure. Alright. Well, last we laid off was lap 48, so we only lost a couple laps here, guys. I really do apologize for that. So right now, currently, the field's stretched in between and right on down the mark here. The race leader is Ty Morosco and Derek Paulson right now trying to come back from behind, trying to get there to his teammate. Teams right now working their way back on the round off corner number 3 and or turn number 2. And the Kodak Max film. Iv, DJ Mitchell, and wasting little time parking it right up ahead. I believe these drivers may have gone in to get pit stops to get some fuel under their marks here. So that might be why they're running as quick and running as hard as they are. Michael Bollinger asking what happened. Why is not the stream up? Well, it's up now. It's just we just had some problems on our end here. That's what happens when the storm rolls in and takes out our internet completely. Lingering back right around off the corners and into the distances here. but he is safe right at the moment. Glenn McNeese right now, the Western Auto Group 84, making a little bit of a jump off on the outside. He's got Eric Blount literally on the bottom with him in the middle of him, trying to move the 056 Dodge up like Trewick out of the way. Clears the gap, the outside. McNeese, big jump. The Western Auto Group making some moves. 3 wide as well on the front straightaway. Marasco and Paulson teammates sealing with a Gulf Oil in the middle. And Co right now trying to hold it down, trying to stabilize them off just a little bit more as they're still right in the barge and the controls. There is no room for error, and there is little to breathe down that level there. You've got so much going on and so many things happening right in there. Well, right now, currently, it's different lines, different ideals being put to use. Some still trying to take to the bottom to keep the car a little bit more settled in, a little less offsetted here on the outside. But then comes that troublesome slave having to draft off, then trying to find another way around it. So much that can go wrong here and so much that can go wrong there. It really just kind of hinders on what the driver is feeling and what the driver wants to do. Tim Williams right now trying to hunt down DJ Mitchell in the number 4. Williams was leading for a little, but right now currently it is DJ who is having no qualms, no troubles. Keeping speed up, keep the power up, although there's trouble there out the corners. Look out, Ty Morosco in trouble, and Robert Kahn very much in trouble. We got the 88 flipping completely on his side and on his lid. Left front wheel destroyed on the 88. Oh my goodness, a major hit there coming unfortunately off the corner and into the distance zone. We had all sorts of problems going on there in between. Ty Morosco getting shot out of a cannon into the wall. Let's see if we're taking a look at this here. J.R. Johnson just catching the number 1. Oh my! Khan just went absolutely flying though, right in front of him. JR kind of said not the chain reaction, but I don't know what the heck happened to Khan there until it was too little too late. So you can see that 25 maybe got him there. No, it looks like Dean Vine just kind of mistakenly clipped him, and then, oh, look at this. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Just a nasty, nasty little hit. Unfortunately suffering a very terrible fate there. Dean Viney just catching him off guard and catching him off topic here. From pit road, it is going to be Williams, Mitchell, Coe, McNeese, Paulson, top 5, Radford. It's going to stay out the grade up, number 47, Ray Radford here, looking like he's just going to kind of keep his cool and keep himself in check here. So Radford finally going into pit road to see how that one plays out for him and his team. Double filed up once again, race fans. We're approaching with only a mere 36 laps remaining, coming to the green. All eyes are on these drivers to make or break their day. Running on back off down to the green flag race start zone. We're back underway, ladies and gentlemen. Clearing them off out of the gaps here. Paulson trying to stabilize up the car and trying to step back up to the front. Tim Williams leading him out, looking for win number 1 of his career this season. I don't think we've ever seen Tim Williams in victory lane as well, so this will definitely be a set and a marker set for him, really, if he can bring it home today. This entire field of drivers right now looking at the strategies, looking at their pinpoint accuracies, trying to make sure they hit and go their way the distance. Ronnie Chris is saying it's been a good race. It's been a good race, yes. As long as that internet holds up. Thankfully we have our backup line working well for us. 3 wide off down of turn number 2 though. Just barely missed it there. Robert the Rattlesnake on. He's got a mouthful of fury and a handful of revenge coming their way to the field. There's one thing you don't do is provoke the rattlesnake, and the snake is right now slithering his way back in. I've dealt with Khan plenty of times to know, you tick him off, dude, this guy turns into an animal. Just the way my alter ego, the Crusader, comes out when I get mad, the Khan is like a snake. He just bites as soon as you even trigger him. And he's already going right up in this field. These guys better be careful. But at the same time, they better be careful themselves. Nearly 4 deep out the turn, through 3 and 4. Trewick, Paulson, Mitchell, and Taylor moving their way through the gaps and shooting to the front. Oh my, this has been some wild driving, some wild riding. That's the way we like it. Chicagoland Speedway, you have not disappointed us today. And to the nighttime as well. Von Straffen pushing the draft off. Mitchell trying to get Paulson lined up. These cars can be extremely unstable though, especially if you get a little too out of the ordinary, a little under control with them. Tim Williams trying to hold off the big fast speeding traffic of the 056. Blake Trewick trying to move the 56 up to the front. He's got to run, and he found a seam. And there goes Trewick. That's what he wanted to see. This is what he's going to get out of it. What a move and what an incredible feat. These drivers right now absolutely tearing it up, just trying to make it through and get up to the speed as quick as possible. Michael Lee Campbell, much of the same. Feeling a little bit of pressure on the side of his end with the 84. Western Auto Group of Glenn McNeese and the Toronto Central Bottle. Tightening up that gap and starting to whirlwind it around right now. No driver is safe in this, and this is honestly starting to get very, very interesting. They said if we can get a long green flag run lap go, thinking maybe a difference on tire and fuel. I think we have certainly done that and followed the case for it. McNeese now caving in, looking to try to make a move off. Meanwhile, as he tries to do it on the 5, Hunter Hammer and Hansen has not been too far behind. Closing it off, trying to side draft off that 84, keeping him in honest. Oh, that may be a little too honest. Oh my. Oh my. I always hold my breath when these drivers get that close that quickly. And remember what I said earlier, Trawick may have the lead and Williams may fall back. Remember what I said earlier though about that old rattlesnake? Yeah, I wasn't lying to you guys. That's why I don't try to make him mad, honestly. And somewhere right now on day 316, Austin has called out his famous line, and he has now provoked Khan to deliver his famous run. How ironic too, the Texas rattlesnake and the Pennsylvania rattlesnake. Two completely different states, two completely different minds, different guys in different eras and different sports. But at the same time, there's one thing that connects them both, is that you don't toy with a snake. They're both rattlesnakes in their own right. And I would say that's the bottom line. 26 laps to go. But besides some old Stone Cold Steve Austin action right now, and playing down some mud holes and stomping in a can of that whoop ass, if you will, it looks like Corey Coe not having any troubles trying to put a little bit of a beating down on the jabroni up there, as he puts it. Mike Taylor not too happy about that though. The U.S. Army trying to lay down the boots on him as Daniel Holloway goes inside as well. The Hershey's Kisses, number 26, trying to make a run for them both. He can't get a pass though and get a clear-cut move. Files back down. We'll let these two fight it out for a minute or two with only 25 laps remaining here on Pizza Race TV. Jason A. Wall says I bowed out tonight, couldn't get a hand on the track. I didn't want to be in the way. Jason, it's okay, sir. We do really appreciate you coming out here today and showing some support. Love these boys, but man, at any time, I'd say talk with them, see what they can do to help you out. We're all drivers, we're all a community. The best thing you can do is just ask and try to better yourself out there, my friend. Mitchell and Hansen putting on a pretty cool little show here. You see some flash bulbs going off as that. I think they may be using a little bit of that Kodak film down there. Hard to really say anymore, but I mean, you got a Pontiac trying to go out of here with some Chevys and some Toyotas and some Fords. Not exactly what I would consider an odd couples league. I would say more or less it's more of a odd manufacturer league here. Mike Taylor up on the top side here. He's starting to rip it up on that outside line a little. We saw Gordon Larson Jr. having some success there. Mike Taylor be looking at trying to get some success there as well. Hansen, earlier on he said he was like thousands of times better. Oh my. Con, Paulson, Holloway, Mitchell going to pit road. Hansen nearly just clipped Holloway to the shadow round. The Candyman about just turned into the sad man because he was about to be thrown in and piled into the ground down below. How was he even able to stay afloat is beyond me and stay in control. Field now getting desperate and now starting to see the error of their ways, while at the same time knowing they have got strategies to work around. Trawick, Coe, and Taylor, they're all in their spots. They're all in their opportunistic lines. Taylor getting a little bit close here, driving pretty hard off that corner there. Again, now if they go into pit road, all they need to do is just take the fuel and run. That's all they need at this point. They don't have to worry about being set apart, really set in a bad place. They may need if they take 4 tires, that's going to be by their choosing, by their choice. It's going to be a very tall order there. Ladies and gentlemen, also a little heads up. Tomorrow night, Ford Entertainment Group PC.net's Friday Night Money Race returns to the show. It'll be live here at 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, here on PT Racing TV's YouTube channel. We can't wait to see you guys there. We hope you enjoy it. As we finish out here, though, Mike Taylor, 98, looking his way down. He'll go to pit road and settle himself back off around. Treywick, you can hear him already clutching that throttle up a little. He's trying to hang on, trying to last this one out. I think the same could be said about the other drivers here that have been part of some crazy times and some crazy situations. Ray Radford even having a little go at it with these guys currently, laying out speed. Strategies really burrowing in a bust here for some. Ty Morosco going into pit road, the number 1 will stabilize them down. Quaco, Hunter Hansen trying to watch their pit stop. Watch that entry, boys. Watch it. Watch it. Looks good. Looks very good. Good pit stop there. Rest of the field trying to hurry up. Treywick, though, man, he is making everybody sweat some bullets. Field right now currently on a hot patrol and on a hard drive here. Treywick has lost a lot of time to Derek Paulson. I don't know if that's exactly what he was planning on having happen, but you know, this is kind of the strategy he wanted to put up. This is the kind of speed he wanted to do up. I just don't know if I agree with it, considering he's lost about 3 seconds now on the pace. Everyone right now looking to try to eclipse him. Treywick went on lap number 85, so he's now hoping and praying that he can keep Paulson down low. And it's a very, very close race, ladies and gentlemen. They have only got a mere 13 laps remaining, and look at this. Conan is going for Paulson and Treywick. He's trying to clip both of them up. Trying to be unlike Jeffrey Dahmer and trying to, instead of collecting stuff he shouldn't collect, he's trying to collect the speed that he needs to take down Paulson and Treywick. And he is absolutely not holding a single thing back, but a mere example of just controlling the narrative and trying to hold on for what is left here. They're right on the marks here, right on the gap. They've now closed it down. Closed it off yet again. Treywick lost in between, 3 wide. Race lead involved. Paulson and Kahn trying to get away from Treywick so they can have their own little battle. Treywick trying to hang on with both of them. He can't do it. Instead of 3, it'll be 2 left remaining for this one. That snake is not giving Paulson an inch, but Derek Paulson has not been to victory lane in nearly over 2 seasons. Last season, in the Elite Racing Series, in at least the old Pit Stall Race Series, he did not come away with one win. He would lose out more often than not, get strapped in the worst possible predicaments with the Super Late models. He said to me, whenever we get a new series, I'm coming out and I'll fight him. And he is fighting and he is scratching, he is clawing. But he knows Khan will not give him an inch. Coming down the inside now, Khan looking like he might have something. He's trying, he's pushing, he's shoving. And he is almost there. Paulson, though, able to outrun him. Oh my. Coming back around now, 9 turns to 8 laps remaining. Paulson is literally defending every single corner, every single turn, just hoping and praying he may be able to catch a break. Riding him along, 7 laps remain. Could Khan finally visit PTM Race TV's victory lane yet again in the Pit Stall Racing Series? Or will Derek Paulson finally, after a couple seasons, get a win back under his grasp and under his belt? The strategy's definitely boiled over and cooled over these drivers, to say the least. Tim Lee says, what a race for the lead. Indeed, indeed. Coming right around here, this is do or die time now for Khan. He needs to draft up harder and he needs to fight harder than ever. Look at Paulson though, man. He is blocking and drafting off every single run. And Khan finally got one on him. Khan going to the inside. Slider through the corner. Look at Paulson. Just barely missed him on the bumper. That is some serious moves right there. And Paulson and Khan now drafting right up without traffic. Plow. Blount, stay high, sir. Don't get in the way. Khan, get into the middle. Trying to shoot the gap on Paulson. Did Paulson give up too much? 5 to go. Double filed in right now for the race lead. These two will not leave each other alone. Khan having to let off a little bit and lowering the turn. Paulson trying to hang with it. He let up more, but he gave more in the apex. Khan gaining so much. Can Paulson draft off? He had so much speed, now he's lost it all again. Did that lap traffic at the 6 cost Paulson any chance to hang on? The 6 and the 6 going at it here. Either driver wanted to break free of it. There are only 4 laps to go. Run him down on the back straightaway. Khan just literally making a circumstantial statement and a huge move on every single driver. Three laps left. Paulson and Khan just looking at each other and trying to outdo the other. And Paulson! Uh-oh! Hold on! Nice save there. Blount nearly taking Paulson for a ride, but that just slowed him down even more. This one's starting to wrap up in his favor. 2 to go. 2 laps to go. Top 5 on your screen. Paulson, maybe a last gas, a last breath. Anything at this point. That's all he wants. He just wants a chance. He wants some life. And you can see Khan trying to now block him out of it. Trying to increase the dirty airflow around the 6. The Ford Credit 88 will bring us to the white flag presented by Fort Worth Screen Printing here. Chicagoland is on their feet. No one is sitting down. They're ready for this one. Paulson one more time. High side to low side. Trying to rip it up. Going for broke. He's got the draft. Now can he get the pass? Through 3. No gain. Through 4. Nothing else to say. The Rattlesnake Robert Kahn is going to win it here at Chicagoland. What a race. What a race. Derek Paulson can't be too mad about this one. A good finish for him nevertheless. He had the strategy all center away, but I think honestly what did him in was the fact somebody decided to turn a wrecker into a checker, and that being Robert Kahn. Wrecked out early and now fights and scratches his way back to victory lane. What a performance and what a race. Your race results now on your screen here, race fans. Kahn wins it out. Paulson gets second. Third to Daniel Holloway. Fourth to Tim Williams. Fifth to Draywick. DJ Mitchell goes sixth. Mike Taylor, good showing, going seventh. Gordon Larson Jr. another strong showing. Eighth. Ninth to Todd Poston. 10th to Hunter Hammer and Hansen. Rounds out your top 10 in this one here. And presented by Fort Worth Screen Printing. What a performance by everybody, man. You just can't help but be in awe and excitement watching this kind of racing, watching this kind of battle go down between this field of drivers. And yet here we are today. Alright, race fans, it's time at last here at Chalk with our finishers today. Coming away today in the third spot, the ever-elusive handyman himself in the Hershey Kisses. 26, bringing some Hershey chocolate bars to the table. And Holloway bringing it home in third. You said you were going to look to really equalize your strategy out. It certainly did seem to be the case today, sir.
Oh yeah, for sure. Kept the car clean, avoided that wreck towards the middle of the race, and got tires. And I think I was gaining on Robert and Derek there towards the end. Just need more laps. But what a race! Good points night for this Hershey Kisses car. And good battling up there. Led some laps and came home with a nice clean car. So we'll take this on to the next race.
Take this on to the next race indeed. Now, I know you guys haven't had this kind of a clean race, this kind of a clean battle in quite some time. What does it feel like just to be able to just go out there and put everything together and really have this kind of positioning for everybody?
It feels good. I mean, Super Speedway, it could be anybody, and trying to learn everybody and barely learning how to draft push with these cars because they're very sensitive and you can just easily spin somebody like last week where that was a, a big wreck at the end. But this week it's more car control and drivers and just learning the line and saving those tires.
Saving them tires and finding it online here today, Daniel. Who are you going to thank for this third place today?
I want to thank Tim and Sean and everybody for this league in the pit stall and you up in the booth. And I'm going to, after this race here, I'm going to go home, or home, I am home. Get off here and watch this race and learn something, see what I was doing wrong from watching these other drivers. But I think I was pretty good. I knew I had a top 5, top 3, maybe a shot to win, but you know, it's all about those points. You got to take as what you can and move on to the next race.
Indeed, indeed, there, sir. Well, I was about to say, you're pretty much home right now, so enjoy your time here and have a good one. Congratulations on this third place today, Daniel.
Thank you, and you guys have a good night.
Yeah, too, buddy. Ladies and gentlemen, Daniel Holloway gonna bring it home for a nice solid third. Coming today second, though, guy that let out the most and let out the fight, but just got drawn back this one. Derek Paulson goes second place today. And Derek, man, I gotta believe you had a winning formula and the car was set to go, but it looked as though the cautions and then everything else with the pit stops finally kind of did you in, and then a rattlesnake just kind of sneak up and bit you there, sir.
Yeah, the cautions kind of screwed up my race big time. Otherwise, I think we would have came home pretty decent. Yeah, that last pit stop only took 2 tires. So I was battling cars with 4 tires, and I only had 2. And I don't know if I would have got 1 extra good lap in. Um, that the lap car didn't realize we were battling for the win. Otherwise, he would have got out of the way. But I think because Robert got too far out after that, and I think if I would have kept on him, I could have given him 1 good lap. I might have been able to give something to him before the end of the race there, but all in all, it's pretty good for someone who had to scratch 3 or 4 different strategies and come up with different pit stop strategies and this and that to get second, which I didn't think I was going to get after a couple of those cautions. I'll take it.
I did want to ask about that, Derek. That lap car at the very end there with the 6 in front of you. I know obviously you two had the same number, but I don't think it was a meeting of the number minds there. What happened exactly, and what ended up triggering that to begin with there for you?
Well, back to the 6s. We know that I'm always the true 6, but no, no, I got to get my custom number repainted quickly, and I was out ill for a week, so I never got to change that. But yeah, I mean, I could see him, peaking low, and I'm like, well, what's he doing, man? This is like down to 3, 4 laps left, and we're leaders racing for the win. But he didn't realize that we were the leaders. He didn't have his black box up, so I don't blame him for that. But um, I did get, I was a little upset at the time, but yeah, no, it'll be okay.
Be okay indeed. Well, nevertheless, though, sir, you're coming back in style and back into the pack. Second place today. What do you want to think for that one?
I gotta think. Excuse me, I'm still battling a cold here. I gotta thank Tim and all the pit stall admins. I gotta thank all the guys who showed up tonight. I think we had 24, 25 of them. All in all, racing was pretty good. Couple of cautions there we probably wouldn't have needed, but I gotta thank you there up in the booth. I gotta thank MF Racing Designs. He's the one that does all my paints. Gotta thank MFRD. Ty was in there racing with me tonight. He kind of had some bad luck tonight, but it's always nice to have him in the radio with me. And gotta give a shout out to Robert. You know, we had a pretty good battle there for the win. It was really fun. I don't think either of our cars were driving very well at the end, and yeah, it was a good time there.
Good time indeed, Derek, man. Great to see you back here in the podium, and congratulations popping this one up for a second place today, sir.
All right, thank you.
Well, Derek may have been a runner-up today, but the guy that lived up to the 316 name, the other Rattlesnake, you know who he is. The Rattlesnake Robert Kahn is back in town, and he has fired back one right on the show. And Kahn, you and Chicagoland have had a history together, especially you in that ARCA series, but now to come back here and fight everybody out in a long run and a long haul, this one must be sweet for you, sir.
Yeah. That last stretch of green flag right before that caution came out, and I was on my roof. So to go from on my roof to 50 laps later winning the race, it was that was a roller coaster.
A roller coaster, a crazy time, and a wild situation to really indicative of what was going on. But nevertheless, for you and this team, I mean, how precious and how important was it today for you to finally get this one you've been looking for so long in a while now?
Oh, it's good because I've been on a spell lately, and it doesn't seem like a lot of things can go right with the racing right now. But it's nice to get a win. Um, yeah, it's a good one.
A good one indeed, Con. You've got the win. You finally returned back to victory lane. Who do you want to thank here on this 316 day?
Well, of course you, pit stall, PTM, um, everyone, all the admins in pit stall, they put a good show up. So um, that's about it, man. It's nice to win one.
Nice to win one indeed, and good to see you back at victory lane, Con. Congratulations winning this one out, sir.
Thanks, man. Appreciate you.
No worries indeed, ladies and gentlemen. The rattlesnake Robert Kahn wins it out, and that is the bottom line. Race fans, thank you so much for tuning in tonight. Thank you so much to Fort Worth Screen Printing and Lightning Wrapz for your support. Fans, when friends and like, we appreciate you coming on board. We'll see you guys next time with the green flag flies on PT Race TV.